Good morning, my dear children. We have come to the end of the chapter Plant Growth and Development. In this video, I would like to discuss the functions of different types of phytohormones in brief and how the different types of phytohormone regulate all the stages of the plant life cycle. Phytohormones are required in small amount and out of the 5 phytohormones, auxin, cytokinin, gibberellin helps in growth. That's why they are considered as growth promoters. Whereas abscisic acid inhibits growth and thus helps to overcome the unfavorable environmental condition, and abscisic acid is considered as growth inhibitors. Ethylene is a gaseous hormone which is dual in function. Now, if we start from seed dormancy to the ripening of the fruit, we find different types of phytohormones regulate different types of physiological activities. What is dormancy? Dormancy is the period when the seeds do not germinate, even though the suitable environmental conditions like light, temperature, oxygen, humidity are provided. Cytokinin helps to break dormancy, and gibberellic acid promotes seed germination, whereas abscisic acid induces dormancy and thus delays seed germination. Contradictory function. Ethylene also induces dormancy and delays seed germination. So, regarding the dormancy and the germination, gibberellic acid, abscisic acid are antagonistic in nature. Now, after germination, growth, how does it take place? It is carried out by cell division and cell enlargement. Cell division is promoted by the increased concentration of auxin. Auxin helps in the cell division and also induces apical dominance, that is the activity of the meristematic tissue which is present in the apical bud gets increased due to the increased concentration of auxin, whereas cytokinin delays apical dominance, and due to the increased concentration of the cytokinin, axillary bud activity gets increased, so the new branches develop, plants become bushy in appearance. So regarding the apical dominance, auxin and cytokinin antagonistic in nature. Auxin helps in cell division, gibberellic acid helps in cell enlargement. Gibberellic acid is also responsible for the elongation of the internodal region, and auxin helps in root initiation. Now the next part, that is the flowering. So first juvenile stage, and when the plant enter into the flowering stage, we find reproductive stage, we find that the initiation of the flowering is carried out by the increased concentration of auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, and sometimes in certain plants by abscisic acid. Now the next part, that is the ripening of the fruit. But before that, I would like to say some functions like abscission and the senescence. What is senescence? Senescence is the aging of plants. When the leaves become old, yellow in color, not required, and the fruits are matured, then that is called the aging. They should fall down, and falling down of these yellow leaves or the matured fruit is called abscission. Abscisic acid induces senescence and abscission, whereas cytokinin delays senescence. That's why cytokinin is also used for enhancing the vast life of certain commercial flowers like gladiolus. Now the next part, that is the ripening of the fruit. Ripening of the fruit is carried out by the increased concentration of the ethylene, and the cell enlargement of the fruit is carried out by the increased concentration of the gibberellic acid. And regarding xylem, activity of the xylem and phloem, I would like to say that xylem differentiation is carried out by auxin, whereas phloem transport is initiated by cytokinin. Now, the comparative study of the different types of hormones. Auxin promotes apical dominance, whereas cytokinin suppresses apical dominance, antagonistic function. Gibberellic acid breaks dormancy, promotes seed germination, whereas ethylene induces dormancy, delays germination. Abscisic acid induces dormancy, delays germination, that is antagonistic effect. Auxin helps in growth by cell division. Gibberellic acid, cytokinin, helps in growth by cell enlargement. Auxin also helps in root induction. Now the parthenocarpy, that is the formation of the fruit without fertilization, that is carried out by increased concentration of the auxin and the gibberellic acid. Cytokinin delay aging, whereas ethylene and abscisic acid accelerates senescence and the abscission. So that is the contradictory function, antagonistic in nature. Ethylene helps in ripening of the fruit, and gibberellic acid is responsible for the enlargement of the fruit, that is the increase in fruit size. Abscisic acid inhibits growth inhibitor, and auxin, gibberellin and the cytokinin, growth promoters. And when the environment is dry, arid, that time abscisic acid helps to close the stomata of the plants and thus helps the plant to overcome unfavorable condition. That's why I told you that the abscisic acid actually helps the plant to overcome the unfavorable environmental condition by closing the stomata or by inducing dormancy, delaying germination, or by accelerating senescence and the abscission. So, in a nutshell, we may summarize that for any and every phases of growth, differentiation and the development of plants, one or other phytohormones has some role to play. Such roles could be complementary or antagonistic. These could be individual or synergistic. Now we have come to the end of this chapter. Thank you.